public relation campaigns to keep themselves or to make themselves known as a Christian religion. Because they started basically in the United States, and immediately people looked at it and said, this is not a Christian cult. This is not Christianity. And so they have done a really good job, actually, with their public relations of making people think that they are Christian, when actually they are not at all Christian. The terminology is going to be huge. In Martin's book here, the first 3 chapters, he has one on defining it. The second one is make sure you understand the terminology. And the third one is the psychological thinking of somebody who is in a cult. And I haven't read that chapter. It was added to this book. But a cult, in the broadest sense of the word, is simply a religious system with a particular... oops, I thought I put this up there, but I didn't. A religious system with particular rites and customs. So, technically, everybody's a cult, if you're following a leader. But when we think of cult, we define it far more narrowly. And here's the problem, is not everybody is going to define a cult the same way. It depends on your worldview. So, we would be a cult to some people, because in our Christianity, in what we teach in the Scripture, it controls thinking. It asks you to be at church services regularly. It asks you to witness and convert people. It affects your music, what you watch. We would be a cult to some people in their definition. But a cult, from our perspective in the Christian context, is a religious group that denies one or more of the fundamentals of biblical truth. So that's why we started with this. You've got this list of major doctrines, and we say if somebody deviates or if they deny that, then that's a cult. They're teaching something that is clearly not in the Bible. And the cult will claim to be part of a religion, but it'll deny the essential truths of that religion. And so that's what we run into with Jehovah's Witnesses, with Christian Science, with Mormonism. They want to be considered Christian, but they deny the essential truths of Christianity. And so some of those fundamental truths are not part of their teaching. So let's put up there real quickly a denomination. What is a denomination? By definition, a denomination is a specific branch or subgroup within a larger religious group, distinguished by its unique name, beliefs, practices, and organizational structure. And so you have a larger religious group, say Christianity as a whole. A denomination of that would be a specific group and has a unique name, belief, practices, and structure. So, what's a denomination that you would know of? All right, Methodism, okay, Methodist. What else? Baptist. All right, Baptist, we're a denomination. All right? Lutheran, okay? Presbyterian, yeah. You would even have, there are large and small. I have a handbook of denominations. I have no idea how many are in there. But every once in a while, somebody will come to me and say, I'm going to a primitive Baptist church. And I have to pull that book out and say, what's a primitive Baptist church? And I have to read on it because they're denominations. Now, are there groups that are considered denominations that we probably should consider cults? All right, prosperity gospel. Because their teaching denies truth. Pastor Rogers. Universalist Unitarian. They're way out there, yeah. All right? What if you look at something like Catholicism? Catholicism actually is a works-based religion. Now, I believe there are some Catholics who may be saved, but it's a works-based religion. The problem is Catholicism predates all of this. It's kind of grandfathered in. But see, you have difficulty making a distinction about what is a cult, what is not a cult, what's a denomination, what's the difference between a denomination and a cult. Are we a cult or a denomination? Well, depends on your worldview, depends on what you're looking at. All right, I have homework for you. It is, according to this clock, 10:16 just switched. So, Sam, could I get you to help me with this? This is, what is Mormonism? What do Mormons believe? There are some that are on pink paper. That's simply, well, I'll just keep those. I don't think you'll need that. But if you get a chance to read this before class next week, I think, as far as I know, I'll be here for the rest of our classes on Sunday morning. But next week we'll go into this particular group and start looking at where they deviate from some of the doctrines that we've looked at. Just one page. Yeah, if you fold it, it should come out as a booklet. Yeah. Did we? Some of them. Okay, sorry. There are some that did not get the 2 pages. So you. All right. Sorry, I must have forgotten to tell it to print front and. Yep, I didn't tell it to print front and back. Front and back. Okay. That seems like a lot of papers for how many I told it to print, so that explains that. Does anybody else need a second page? You need page. All right. Which one do you need? You need this one.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Anybody else?
You should have one that has "Got Questions" and Keystone Baptist at the top, and then the other one would have no heading at the top. All right. Thank you. I'll